Live from London, Car-Boyz. We are indeed. Hello.
Oh,
hello, dear chap.
good.
How are we?
I'm good. How are you? You sounded
Very
really
good.
good.
Ah,
You're looking very Madonna-esque.
Yes, I'm soon to join Janet Jackson and her Rhythm Nation, if they'll take me. Can I put your call through, sir? I'm putting it through now. This is the beauty of Sennheiser. Indeed, we are back. What was Janet Jackson? Was it all this? Was that Madonna? I'm getting confused. I'm a man of a certain age. I shouldn't talk about such things. Indeed, we are back again with another episode of the car show that used to be on your radio, but now comes with added pictures. Another week in lockdown here in London, and we got bored rigidly, not with fear, but we're going to give you an hour or so of motoring information, education, and entertainment to keep you smiling, like Lord Reith did at the BBC a long time ago, not anymore. Coming up on this show this week, we'll have all the news that's not fit to print in the news. We'll be delving into your correspondence in the part of the show we like to call the mailbag. And we have a great competition to test your motoring knowledge. This week, it's Wheels of Fortune, and I shall be in the role of your quizmaster, Les Johnley.
Hey.
And like an escapee from Operation U-Tree, I shall be hiding from the press and posing those all-important questions about the rubber we fit to our car wheels, the corners of each car. And before you say it, Simon, yes, I do know the wheels on the bus go round and round.
Apparently all day long, unless it's all night long, which was by Rainbow, wasn't it? Yes.
No, it wasn't all night long. I thought that was Gloria Estefan and the Miami Sound Machine.
Either way.
All night long. No, Lionel Richie. Lionel Richie. You're thinking of Since You'll Be Gone by Rainbow. And Richie Blackmore. Richie Blackmore's
Probably.
Rainbow.
Yeah. But anyway, aside from your rubber fixation, I don't know why you'd like
bend over, so madam.
We have a great show on the way today with some exciting international and exotic location that we're going to in the Lost Highway section of the show. And they have an amazing car in this week's classic car selection. This week, it came in a hatchback. It's the Citroen CX.
Lovely car.
It also looks like it should be an ambulance as well.
It does, yes, or a hearse. For a Frenchman smoking a Gaulois.
With a baguette.
I am dead, but I am looking very cool going to the cemetery. Putain.
And we'll be asking the age-old question of who is the person that decided to buy the car in the colour of Bordeaux red? Yes, it's definitely an old person that's that old.
Yes.
So stay tuned for all of that and more. I'm Simon Swinton, and the wheels of the bus go round and round, round and round, round and round. The wheels of the bus go round and round all blooming day long.
Simon Sidgwick there, of course, outlining Sadiq Khan's elaborate plans for the future of transport in Greater London. Well, you could start by letting more than just 5 people on each bus. That might be a good one. A bus passed me today. I think there was 3 on the back, so the most expensive limousine in the world. I'm Richard Green, and I've been driving in my car. It's not quite a Jaguar. I bought it in Primrose Hill from a bloke from Brazil. It was made in 1959 in a factory by the Tyne. It says Morris on the door. The GPO owned it before. I love the musical stylings of Camden's finest madness. I don't really, but I just thought that was a rather car-apt song. And I don't think they ever made the Morris by the Tyne.
No, I don't think they had a factory there.
It was in Oxford. Did they make anything apart from ships in the Tyne? The Clyde in Glasgow, didn't they make, the Roots group made the Hillman. Yeah, right. I think the Hillman. Don't think they made anything in Newcastle. Oh, Nissan's Nissan doesn't rhyme with anything.
Technically, that's Sunderland.
So, sorry, upstanding. Sorry, it's a word on this very, very special day. Have you watched the coverage from America? It's an old man and some flags.
Yes.
We've got a new sponsor for this show. It's called Victory Juice. And it's a Biden product, we think, because we can't remember. And what does it taste of? Memory loss. Fantastic. So that's the sponsor of today's show, Victory Juice. Good luck with that. Everything in America. In no way does it look like the end of a pier or some sort of summer season. In England, or Britain, I should say, it just
Yes.
ends, doesn't it? You literally lose on the Friday and you're out Saturday morning and you're
pretty
packing
much so.
everything up. And there's no inauguration. The next guy's just in and you're getting on with it. But in America, they've got all this pomp and circumstance, which seems slightly over the top.
So when was the election? It was November,
Yeah.
and it's now January. So yeah, that's a good few months to clear out your desk.
So he's had lots of time to go right around the White House and write cock behind paintings and stuff. There's fuck you, Biden, so on and so forth everywhere. In fact, when John Major I think he got kicked out in 96 or 97 being prime minister. He knew he was going to lose. So he apparently had hardly anything there. There was like a camp bed and a tin of beans. He knew he was going. It's time now on the show for my rant. It's Richard's rant. It's when I take a sideways view of the world from my own weird, and I would argue warped perspective. Unlike other sections of the podcast, this will be not be an open debate. Who am I kidding? It'll be a benign dictatorship, and I shall rule unchallenged as El Presidente or El Jefe with an iron fist in an iron glove. Now, this week, the feature was formerly known as Richard's Take, but the producers of this show felt that sounded a little American and that our core demographic of middle-aged men in the UK would not respond well to the Yankification, if that is a word, of the show. So Richard's rant it is. I like a bit of alliteration. This week, I'm being told by my government to stay at home, which I do mostly when I'm not trying to get to work for a news organization, I might add, which means I'm an essential worker. Hard to believe, but it's true. So I drive to work every day, which I've been doing since March last year, when I come home and look after the kids and hang out with the family. Wish I was still at work. And I don't go out to the shops unless it's for food, and I don't go to the pub. Remember the pub. God, I miss the pub. My wife's come in and she's stealing something from in here.
The pub.
Hang on. No, I need that one. That one's plugged in. You can take the other one. Technical difficulties our end. Yes.
You can't
there
tell
we
the
go.
Producer of the show like that.
So I know the producer will be angry with me. I will pay later on. There she goes. Thank you, producer. Yes, remember the pub. I miss the pub, and I really do miss the pub. And I certainly don't go dogging on the A4 near Guildford, where you turn off at the B&Q car park. How weirdly specific do I know that? What is that? It's like I'm hinting at something. I certainly do not go dogging on the A4 near Guildford, near the B&Q car park, about Tuesday afternoon, 4:30. Now, since last week, even my children cannot go to school for fear of spreading COVID-19. So I can't go out and have fun in the pub, which was a once-a-month thing anyway for me. The children can't go to school. Nobody can go out, maybe have a half an hour exercise. You're allowed out. So imagine everybody in the UK is behaving in the same quiet manner, and the roads must be empty and quiet. Well, you would think that, wouldn't you? But no, the roads are really busy and quite congested. Why, I hear you cry. I shall tell you why. It's because the councils across Britain have decided in the second spike of COVID to green light a raft of roadworks and highways improvements. Now, I live in a small part of London that 1,000 years ago was a small village by the Thames, 16 miles away from London. Now it's right on the edge of a huge sprawling conurbation or metropolis that is Greater London. I still call it a village because I'm trying to be middle class and I have illusions of grandeur, and I also want my house prices to go up. Now, aside from that, there's no way out of my village now without hitting roadworks and temporary traffic lights. No way out. 4 sets of roadworks hemming me into my little part of London. And then there's my commute to work. It's only 6 miles, but now I have to contend with more idiotic cycle lanes. I have to contain with roadworks. Beautiful roadworks on Kew Bridge, of all places. Kew Bridge, you might ask. Is Kew Bridge about to fall into the old Father Thames, the river? No, there's roadworks over Kew Bridge because the council are laying a new pavement. We're being told that COVID-19 is the worst economic crisis to hit the planet since World War II. Do you think that the local council in Hackney during the Second World War were worried about the state of the pavements in the local shopping precinct? Were they doing this when Dornier and Heinkel bombers were dropping high explosive onto the causing thousands of pounds of damage onto the residents in 1941? I don't think they were. These people weren't doing this. The Blitz tended to overrule a request for more disabled bays for cars in the high street in the early 1940s. Then, of course, maybe I'm missing the big picture, because if these local councils don't piss up their budgets up the wall for roadworks, new pavements, improvements to street furniture, central government won't give them as much next year, and the financial year is coming to an end. I don't think this was a recent picture. I hate to say it. If you are watching from abroad, we all don't still look like this. It's not 1941. But central government won't give them as much next year if they don't spend the money this year. So they want to get more money, or the same, at least the same funding for next year. So they're trying to spend this money as fast as possible. Well, folks, if my kids can't have a bloody education because of the fear of catching this and spreading COVID-19, then you sods can stick your improvements to local pavements right up your bureaucratic arses. Any thoughts, Simon?
And that's the thing. It's not just one road in one specific area. It's about 3 or 4 roads in my area. I know that because I was driving around. I think I went for my local walk in the borough, which we're allowed to do.
Yes.
But I drove to where I was driving, because it's fine, because if Boris Johnson can ride a bike 7 miles, I'm sure I
No,
can
exactly.
ride a car a few miles. But you go down one road, there's a few roadworks, and then you literally turn around the corner thinking, well, actually, I'm going to avoid that road and go down a road parallel. No, they put roadworks there as well. So everywhere you go, there is roadworks in town.
Cool. Well, yeah, I mean, that's great. It's everywhere, though. We've got it.
Yeah.
The level of traffic has not reduced, and the excuse will be, well, it's while it's quiet, we can get on with these roadworks. And I get it if you need to dig up a road and replace a gas main or electrics or some sort of telecommunications, but replacing pavement over a bridge, I don't think really constitutes that.
No. And there's one road that I drive down to get to work, which I've seen being dug up probably about 3 or 4 times in the last 2 months.
Yes.
So there's no coordination either. So they're just deciding that they're going to do one bit now, one bit later on. It's just absolute madness.
If it's any, I mean, the road I currently live on in London is not a massively busy road. They have dug it up about 4 times since March for all sorts of telecommunications. Oh, I've started the news accidentally early. For all sorts of telecommunications reasons, for gasworks problems. But I think it's been used an excuse, and I think it's mainly because they know they need to spend the money. The problem is, the next 3-4 years, we're going to be all sorts of problems with a really crap tanking economy, and maybe the council should hold on to their money rather than really pee me off when I'm trying to get into work. Should we have some news?
Yes, let's go for some news. First off, in Chinese rival squares up to Musk news, Chinese car manufacturer NIO, guessing.
Yeah, like the guy out of that film.
Go home. That is the Tesla set firmly in its sights. The plug-in saloon not only looks phenomenally futuristic, but also has some serious big claims, headlined by a driving range of some more 620 miles on a single charge. It's quite a lot. It's probably double what the Tesla is. Not only that, the priciest version is to go on sale in China from next year at a cost of around £60,000, which is still out of my budget.
Yes.
That's less than half the price of Elon Musk's forthcoming Tesla Model S Plaid, which is to have the longest driving range of all Tesla variants, with a claimed distance of 520 miles plus on one charge. The ET7, while boasting more than ample performance, is more about extending the capabilities of electric vehicles for families rather than lap times. In its native China, it will go head-to-head with the proven European rivals, including the BMW 7 Series, the Mercedes-Benz S-Class, and though there's the Tesla Model S. That's most will pin it against in the direction for comparison. While it might look like something from future, drivers in China
They've come for me.
Can order. They won't get very far. There's too many roadworks. China can order one today. The cheapest version costing 448,000 yen, which is around £51,000. The most affordable ET7 will come with a 70 kilowatt battery, which is the smallest of the three options available and provides a claimed range of 310 miles. But the 150 kilowatt flagship variant has a range of in excess of, get this, 1,000 kilometers, which is more than 620 miles on a fully charged battery. The Neo or the Nio won't be delivered to the earliest of Chinese customers until 2022, which is next year, and it is scheduled to come to Europe. Though so far it's a undisclosed date because they don't know, and there's too many roadworks, and there's nowhere to charge. I'll understand if they dug up the pavement to put in charging points, but not on the bridge at Kew.
No, that would be it. I'm trying to work out whether that's 48,000 yen or whether that's 48,000 yuan.
Ooh,
hang on. Which one's the yen symbol? No, Japanese yen. You were right. It was Japanese yen. 500,000 yen. £51,000. The problem is
still out of reach for most people.
Of course it will be. The other problem is that this is, I mean, we're hearing a lot of things about Neo. They're a big Chinese company. They've got lots of support and also the character out of the Matrix. And this is the ET7 Go Home. Now the problem is we don't know what the inside of this looks like. We know what the inside of Teslas look like, and also we know they've got reliability issues.
Yes.
I hear very, very poor things about Chinese build quality in their cars. I don't hear good things. I know we've just had some news out that MG are doing really well, but I don't hear good things about Chinese car brands. So this remains unproven. And you can say, well, it'll cost this, it'll cost this, and you can have one for, 40,000 or £51,000. But until we see this in the flesh, it's all unproven technology.
And for that sort of price, you expect some kind of decent build quality.
Yeah, totally. You don't want buttons to be falling off. It's not a cheap car, and it's actually, I went running today and I saw a guy really struggling at work with cables trying to plug his Tesla in. Should have just bought a Honda. Meanwhile, in COVID means the death of rush hour news, does it? ? A new study out this week has revealed that congestion has plummeted in the past 12 months as more people work from home amid the coronavirus. The research looked at congestion in the biggest cities in the UK and found that there was a 24%. I did say 24% drop in overall traffic levels. I don't know where this is happening. Not in my flaming area. I can tell you that for free. During peak traffic times, it was hit even harder, falling 35% in the period between 8 a.m. and 9 p.m. and then again the rush hour between 4:30 and 5:30. Now, the study by TomTom, the people that used to manufacture the little devices, the sat navs that nobody buys anymore, found that the pandemic had subsequent traffic increase, people working from home, and a flattening effect on rush hour traffic, I should say. The latest review of the impact of COVID-19 on traffic levels shows the lockdowns and the restrictions in 57 countries and 400 cities, 25 in the UK. I'm pretty sure that this is central London a few days ago. That doesn't look that empty to me. I think that's going past Euston on the A4M. This is the M25 recently, which still doesn't look that quiet. Where were we? Data shows the average congestion levels during rush hour fell by a third across the full year. Morning rush hour traffic plunging the most during the initial lockdown, falling a massive 78% in April alone. After a normal start to 2020, congestion levels consistent with 2019. Traffic levels, of course, plunged in the middle of March. Now, however, despite the overall data emerging, figures from the past few days suggest London's traffic levels are rising steadily again. I was right, despite the lockdown. So we've got another one. It's time to take a look at the most congested cities in the UK under COVID-19 lockdown. It's time for another Car-Boyz countdown. In at 5, it's the capital city of Northern Ireland with only 83 days of low traffic. Belfast is the 5th most congested city in the UK. Taking the number 4 spot for the worst COVID congestion. They love their bicycles, but it's still hell during rush hour for the seaside town of Brighton and Hove. 78 days of low traffic takes the good people of Hull to number 3 spot as congestion hurts them. By gum. Taking silver at 2, surprisingly, my hometown of London is only the second most congested city in the UK. That's a first. And coming in at number 1, the home of the Crankies, shortbread and needless violence. It's the capital of Scotland that takes the number 1 spot. Choose life, choose a job, choose a career, and choose Edinburgh as the worst city for congestion in the UK. There you go, Edinburgh, number 1.
Oh dear!
Hard to believe.
That's a surprise. That's a surprise that Edinburgh would be top.
I've never driven in Edinburgh. I've been a tourist there 2 or 3 times, and I didn't notice that it had terrible transport. In fact, the transport seemed to be quite good. But maybe that's the thing. Maybe the problem is Edinburgh has a pretty good bus service, a good train service, and maybe because nobody's in that, the roads aren't set up for cars. It's very Georgian. It looks like Bath. It's narrow little streets and cobbles everywhere.
Absolutely, and bagpipers on the streets, which I last time I was there was bagpipers.
Heroin addicts, violence, alcoholism, battered haggises. Oh, I do miss a battered haggis. They do this stuff as well called salt and sauce.
Really?
It's vinegar and sort of brown sauce mixed together. So it's just called sauce. And you go into a chippy in Edinburgh, and they go, "Do you want salt and sauce?" And you go, "I guess." And they just put loads of this, it's like very fine liquid brown sauce. It's very good.
So that's brown sauce that's already vinegary with more vinegar.
With more vinegar in. There's nothing like it. You're some sort of southern shandy drinking poof. Drink your salt and sauce. Drink your sauce.
Moving on, and does a low IQ spell disaster for road sign news? A local council has been forced to apologise after getting the name of an area wrong on the road sign. Council workers were tasked with erecting a sign.
Hang on,
am I freezing?
You are freezing a little.
Ooh.
It's your age.
Yes, that probably will. Hopefully, it will all be fine. But unfortunately, the metal plate read Horse Bay. How could you get it completely wrong? Horse Bay. The sign was installed in Clapham Hill in Whitstable in Kent, provoking angry reactions amongst members of the public because of the wasted resources. That's probably them trying to use up their money. One man, Ian, said they had a job to do, but I can only imagine spell check might have caused it. He added, it might be funny, but it's still a waste of money, which the council says it hasn't got much of right now. Kent County Council, which is easy for you to say, has warned...
Is that in the Kent countryside?
Yes, has warned locals that it may be increasing council tax by 5% in the coming. People were quick to mock the council. One person called Martine said, 9-carat gold signage, that. Maria fumed, what the hell? And Mary joked, don't get lost, get in there. They've got such a good sense of humour. A Kent County Council spokesman said, unfortunately, a new sign at the top of Clapham Hill in Whitstable was found to have the wrong wording. We will today be temporarily patching the sign with a correct wording, and then permanently patch will then be fitted. It looks like it came from the Metro School of Print.
Yes. Well, now the thing is, it's twofold here. The comedy element is, what will happen is, because Horse Bay doesn't exist, it'll be turned back to Herne Bay, but then some clever git will get a ladder, and he will cross it out, and he will write Horse Bay underneath, and it will be now known as Horse Bay. Where my dad lives is near the University of Warwick, and underneath the University of Warwick is a sign that says Stoneleigh, which is a little village, and somebody's written on top of Stoneleigh, University of Stoneleigh. So I'm guaranteeing Horse Bay is going to be written on a lot of signs for Herne Bay.
There's a couple of signs like that. I can think of the infamous one at Canal Street in Manchester.
Anal Street, yes.
But there is a sign, I think, on the road that leads past Archway, where it's got like Muswell Hill 5, Tottenham 4. So it's
Oh,
like a
I
football
think I've
result.
seen that.
It's got someone's put a time symbol and then put like done it as a maths equation.
When I lived in Thailand, who they don't speak English over there. That's not their native tongue. They also don't care about spellings in English. So if you drive to the seaside town of Hua Hin, you see Hua Hin spelt in English about 15 different ways. They go, I don't care. It's in the same way we don't care about their writing, which is well, it's like a duck with a hat on and a duck with no hat on, and then looks like a pyramid and then a top hat and then two dots. They just look at our script and go, I don't know anything about the Roman alphabet. And so yes, you do get some interpretations. Now, laugh as much as you like, and I do like a laugh as much as the next man or woman or multisexual creature from the planet Zarg. But I reckon the reason for this isn't because sign painters can't spell, it's because they're not native English speakers. And the reason I say that is a second cousin of mine had a company that used to paint white lines on the road and the white and all the signage on the floor of the underground, and he could never get staff to work for him. It was always lots of Eastern European staff. Now, I got stuck in traffic works in Chiswick, strangely enough, last week, and they blocked off the road and the bus lane was open. But there was also another way I could go. And I went down my window. I said to the guys, can I go in that bus lane? Is it legal or am I going to get fined? Nobody knew what I was talking about because everybody's from Eastern Europe. And I just went, does anybody speak English? No, everybody doesn't. We're all, I'm guessing Romanian, but nobody spoke English. So I took the risk after I saw a Jaguar go into the bus lane, and I followed suit as closely as I could. So that's the only reason I think it might be. But yeah, I think Herne Bay will forever be known as Horse Bay to me as well. Finally, in the Car of the Year award goes to the cheapest car of the year. Who'd have thunk it? The best new car Britons can buy this year is also the one that will cost them the least amount of money, which is rather handy since we're all going broke due to lockdown. That's according to the gongs being handed out by the motoring publication What's Car even, which is named the budget-friendly, it's our favourite, Dacia Sandero as the car of the year 2021. Hang on, it's January is it like the 20th?
Yes.
19th. And yet this is the car of the year. We've only just, shouldn't it be the car of the year 2020?
10 years ago?
Yeah, exactly. Well, if you look underneath this car, it will be a Renault from 2009. Now, the new model, which arrives in UK showrooms shortly, so it's not even out yet, but it is the car of the year, will cost from 7,995, a £1,000 hike on the outgoing car. But it has been commended for being roomy, comfortable, safe, and packed with plenty of kit, such as windows, a steering wheel, seats. It doesn't look too bad, actually. Some 26 category gongs were announced for winners as part of a week-long ceremony taking place online this week, although it was the Romanian brand's ultra-affordable Super Mini that scooped up the top prize. Car of the year was given to the Sandero, the 1-litre TCE 90 comfort version. Oh, so that cost £11,500. But the uncomfortable version from the very bottom is 700. This is a bit of a fake story then. Is 7,995, making it less than half the price of the best-selling rival, the Fiesta. There you go. That's what it's usually like on its roof in a ditch. There you go, because it's driven by an old person. No, it's the Ford Fiesta, which starts at almost 17,000. Explaining why Sandero was picked out from the hundreds of new cars Britons can buy in 2021. Car editor Steve Hungerford said, the Sandero's price is scarcely believable when you consider the expert testing it's shown to be equal of or better than most of its high-priced rivals. In the eyes of our test team, it stood out for being delightfully comfortable, incredibly spacious, and a suite of modern safety aids and technologies. Hard to believe Romania's best old Renault is kicking ass and taking names. To be honest, their cars have got better over the last few years. If you're not really fussed about cars and you want one for 2 and 3 years, you can just have this and you can throw it away like a used tissue. And everybody in France drives a Dacia, so it must be good. It does look good on the inside. That doesn't look bad. I mean, it's got like a little pop-up screen and it's actually got electric windows. And those look like leather or pleather or Alcantara seat, so it doesn't look horrendous. Audi sort of style steering wheel,
Not
but
too bad.
after a few years, this thing will show its age very quickly. And let's face it, that'll be the Dacia.
Two things about that. One,
Mhm.
still £8,000 is still pretty expensive, considering that I
Yes.
can remember new cars being £5,000, £6,000. But
Yeah.
since when has the cheapest Fiesta been like?
Yeah,
What
that's
was it?
it's insane.
£16,000.
The
for
Ford Fiesta starts at
Fiesta.
16,385. That's not a base model car.
Yeah.
I mean, if you speak to people, that what do they want? They want two doors. They don't know if they're buying a 1 litre car, they know where everything is. They don't need a sat nav. They want a heater. They don't care about toys. They don't really care about electric windows. But electric windows don't cost that much. They don't mind cloth seats. They don't mind no power steering. There's loads of stuff they don't really give a toss about. And actually, I think they're missing one here. I think Dacia should be coming on really low and going, you get electric windows. You don't get sat nav. That's up to you. And why do you need sat nav when you got one of these? You just put Waze on your phone for free. You maybe want a radio, put a radio in, but I reckon you could shave off another $2,000 off that
easily.
Or are we talking about the reason the Ford Fiesta is so expensive is because they want to phase out the Ford Fiesta? Are Ford saying we just want to make trucks?
I don't know. It's
16 grand is what I'm thinking of spending on a 3-year-old 7-seater Hyundai Santa Fe with a 2.4 litre engine and lots of gadgets.
Escort Cosworth came out. To get that, which was a performance rally car, was like 20 grand.
Yes.
Whereas now a base Fiesta is 16,300.
I mean, things have gone up in price. You know, there's a general increase in price, but I know what you're saying. Mind you, I think anybody, don't tell this to the car companies. I'm never going to buy a new car. Now I will never. Yeah. When I say I'm going to buy a new car, people going, "You're going to buy a new car?" I went, "Yeah, 3-year-old car's a new car to me. That's a new car. I got an 8-year-old car. I go, new car, yes, new car." Because I spent years driving 15-year-old, 17-year-old, 12-year-old, 14-year-old cars, old bags of crap. So anything that's but I certainly think anybody, unless it's a massive tax write-off, I don't see the point in hooning around in a brand new car.
Yeah. It loses money as soon as you drive it off the forecourt. So
I'm shocked about the Dacia winning, but it is incredibly cheap. It does look horrible, and it will be a drive like a Peugeot. That's all I'm saying. Should we have some classic car selection?
Yes, let's have some.
Let's do it.
Some music.
That's enough.
There you go. The jazz band's injecting.
Back on form.
I don't think they've been. It's not a vaccine.
No, they have been vaccinated because they're all in their 80s. They're all heroin addicts, but they're in their 80s because they know their jazz. So I took them down en masse to get a mass injection, and they're not frightened of a needle, being jazz people.
Yeah. This week's Diamond in the Rough is distinctively different. It is attracting a staunch following, and the unconventional Citroen ethos makes the CX an appealing classic that is supremely practical, provided every effort is made to prevent the rot taking hold. This is the Citroen. It's the
nice.
Citroen CX, available in various different styles. These particular ones are the estate versions.
Yes.
It was produced from 1974 to 1991 in fastback sedan and station wagon body, which is the station wagon style. It came in a range of 4-cylinder engines, yet it was designed to be fitted with a rotary engine.
Ooh.
It was voted the car of the year in 1975. Yes, complete with wangle, with a few left-hand drive versions and parts
Nice.
available to find. Pretty tricky. Finding a good one rather than taking on a project is advised. Scarcity, though, can only increase their appeal. The sensational CX initially came with a warmed over DS pushrod engine instead of the triple rotor Wankel engine that Richard did suggest. It also came with a twin cam flat four planned in cahoots, but it eventually came alive with the GTI version. They actually did a GTI version of this. Ultimately, the late 80s, the 168 bhp turbo could propel this car to a massive 138 miles an hour. The mainstream models are not so performance orientated, though they all have the desirable features, not least Citroen's trademark fluid cushion ride that manufacturers today, even Citroen, seem unable to replicate. For supreme refinement on the CX, the entire running gear was mounted on subframes linked by located members, joined to the body by 16 flexible mountings. The suspension was so good, there's a little fact for you, it was used under license by Rolls-Royce on the Silver Shadow models.
That's correct. The green fluid that pours out of old Rolls-Royces. There's the same stuff patented by Citroën or Citroën.
Yes. Which I think the company that makes it Total have still got supplies of it. So now is the time to actually buy a CX before they rot or people realise that the cars were actually really quite good. There are already fewer CXs on the road than the DSs, and they are costlier to rebuild should you wish to take it on as a project. The last big Citroen designed without any interference from Peugeot is now starting to attract attention in its home country, France. Quite a few left-hand drive examples are spreading across Europe from France due to the greater interest in the UK, but they did create right-hand drive versions for this market. So what do you look for? The DS-derived pushrod engines are durable. Some have been lasting 250,000 miles with basic servicing. Usual checks for wear should apply, such as death rattles, excessive smoke, and oil leaks, just like any other person. If the rear suspension arm bearings fail,
check for COVID.
The wheels lean at the top and the parts may creak when driving. Long wheelbase versions have more robust bearings. Check the manuals for smooth shifting, while the ZF Auto boxes are absolutely bulletproof. Make sure that all the electrics work. Repairs can be costly, and a 40 speedometer, for example, has a knock-on effect with the speed-sensitive power steering. All engines run happily on unleaded, which is all good, but some need super unleaded. Check for overheating and that timing belt changes were regular. So, how much would you buy one of these? I did find while looking, this wasn't the one for sale, but I did find this particular version.
Oh, that would be the one that Snoop would have if Snoop was going to France. It would be Snoop's personal transport, man. They'd be smoking Chiba in the back.
So these aren't cheap.
Sipping on gin and juice. Sorry.
These are not cheap, but they're not that expensive. I did find one, a sedan version from 1988. Remember, keep these running really well. They are practical and you can use them every day. This is from 1988. And this particular one is available for £7,750.
Come a little closer. Come a little closer.
Yeah.
Oh, that's nice.
It is available for, as I said.
Now, that's they are getting increasingly. They're the view of the future from 1988, aren't they?
Yes.
It's a bit like watching Tron and thinking the future was going to be like Tron without Jenny Agutter.
Don't mention Tron again. No. Yes.
Not Tron. Sorry. It's not Tron, is it? It's my mind's gone. As one of the two films that I do remember from my childhood. Logan's Run. Tron was with Jeff
Bridges.
Jeff Bridges is in Tron. Yeah. I went to the cinema to see that. It was terrible. Yes, I'm thinking of Logan's Run with Jenny Agutter, Michael York. That was like what the future was going to be like, and then the future was never like that. That's a little bit like that. That's what millennials think the future is going to be like. I like that. That looks like a tank, man. That's a Nazi Citroen. Look at it. Looks like a stormtrooper would drive that home to see his wife.
Unbelievable. But
that's great.
Incidentally, a little crap fact for you: these mirrors on these cars have been used on everything. So if you look on things like the Jaguar XJ220,
it's the same mirrors.
And Car's like, they're the same mirrors. That's where they came from, Citroen.
Now, I drove one of these
Did you?
briefly. I worked for a newspaper in Nottingham, and they wouldn't give me the pool car I had to drive for 2 weeks until they bought a new pool car, which was a Ford Fiesta. We really had a big budget. Was a 1984 Citroen Estate CX
Yeah.
with the gear lever had fallen into the gearbox, so a very small gear lever, and
Short shifting.
short shifting, it's like a Porsche, and it didn't drive like a Porsche, and the suspension had knackered. So when you went over a bump, it
Yeah.
like you knocked your teeth out. It was really. I had to do 2 weeks driving that car.
Yeah.
With the smell of a newspaper. So it had, mind you, and again, as you just mentioned, this thing had over 250,000 miles on it.
Yeah. Yeah. And that was
It was like a
however many
12-year-old
years ago,
car
yeah.
when I drove it, and it just
Yeah.
went and went and went, and it wouldn't die. Diesel, rattled a lot.
Yes.
So, if you
Diesel,
would
yeah.
like to get a suggestion for the classic car selection, you can email the Car-Boyz at car-boys@outlook.com, Facebook car-boys at car-boys 4Zs, Twittering car-boys with always with a Z at car_boys with a Z, Instagram at car_boys with the 3 Zs at the end. So thank you very much for that, Simon. I shan't be rushing out to buy one. Oh, there's the Instagram, which is a porno one. It's time. It's returned again. It's raised its ugly head. It's a musical one. There's a questioning one. Oh, follow through, nurse. This time, of course. Oh, sorry. That is called the nurse. It's time for the Turd of the Week. Back by popular demand, the Turd of the Week. Where we get viewers to send in pics of the worst car they've ever seen, and we show it off to the world. Could be a 1.1 Ford Fiesta Popular Plus with a huge exhaust pipe, dump valves, and a K&N air filter. Could be a 1996 Vauxhall Cavalier covered in rust with its rear bumper gaffer taped on. Whatever the car that you think can ascend the Mount of Feces is to be crowned polished Turd of the Week. Please do send us your pictures. This week, the car comes from near me. It's from Hanwell in London, home of reputable car dealers and sellers. I can tell you that now. The car was spotted by eagle-eyed Colin, who lives around the corner in Ealing, and he said he spotted this online on an online sales website. He can't believe what a mishmash of Fiat this car is. So here we go. So it's a 1998 Fiat Bravo with a 1.4 litre engine, and we did say some, are Bath parts. Wait for it. Wait for it. Oh, look at this horror. It's got gearbox issues and has no battery and doesn't run. But apart from that, it's a keeper. The biggest red flag about this car is that it hasn't been started since 2008. 12 years it's been sat gathering dust in Hanwell since 2008. But the advert does promise smoke-free and pet-free on the inside, apart from the mice who've probably been nesting in it for more than a decade. £500 or nearest offer. Colin said, I'd prefer to take my £500 and burn it. He says he can't get over that this thing isn't just up for scrap. Our polished Turd of the Week goes to Colin, and who spotted this poor excuse for transport, which hasn't been transport. It's been a house for mice since 2008. And it's got those really horrible, the blended in lights, which I hate as well, these.
It's supposedly like BMW M wheels.
Yes.
They've changed the mirrors on it for the DTM style mirrors.
Oh yes. Hang on.
And also, I don't think it's a problem that it hasn't run, because with that spoiler, you could push it like a shopping trolley.
If you got a good wind, it would take you. It would take you with it, wouldn't it? The good wind. You could put a parachute on the back of there. It would take off.
It's got a double exhaust.
Oh yes. Sorry, did we miss that? Oh, sporting exhaust, sporting pretensions. We have the 1.4 litre Fiat Uno derived engine. It hasn't moved, so all the tyres are going to be rotten.
Yes.
The petrol is going to be completely gone in it. The oil is going to be gone, and it's got gearbox issues, and they want £500. I think it simply said that this is a Turd of the Week. I think so. There we go. Look at that. That's a horror, isn't it? There. Oh, nurse. I think you just get you're going to get, if you can get this thing running, and you'd be a better man than me. You're going to get pulled over every 5 minutes.
Yeah.
And talking of selling cars for, and I know 2004, I sold my Ford Escort XR3i with original RS wheels for, I think, £485.
Wow.
Now, so the same price as this. Now, my car had an MOT. It had a little bit of rust on it, quite a bit of rust. Never mind. It was taxed. I think it came with some tax, and it had been serviced, and it had 112 on the clock. And the guy that bought it was really happy. He's, you got the RS wheels. Yeah, I got all that. It certainly didn't look like this dog. It's fantastic, isn't it?
Absolutely awful. That certainly qualifies as a piece of turd.
I just don't know. You would probably look at spending £1,000 to get this back on the road.
Yeah,
I'd imagine, on a car that's worth less than £1,000.
Pretty much so.
It's a lose-lose. Nobody's ever going to buy this car. This car just needs to be scrapped. In fact, you'd make more money if you took it to bits and you sold all the parts. If you sold these seats, if you took that steering wheel off, I'm not even sure that's an original gear knob. It looks horrible.
No.
I bet you there's a lot of weed has been smoked in this as well. I bet if you did a test that we'd let elements of really stamped on cocaine in the back of that as well. Oh, there we go. Our turd of the week on the show. I believe it's time for the Lost Highways. If I can find some Lost Highways music.
Come on, band.
Oh, sorry, that's a bit scary. Lost Highways. That's Running Away. Lost Highways. What have we done coming down this road? Now you got a pretty mouth. Here we go. Lost Highways.
Nice.
I quite like that. I found a bit of the
They remixed that.
They have panpipes as well. Oh dear.
It is that new music indicates that it's time for a feature where listeners email us in and give us their favourite roads and reasons why they love them. It could be quiet coastal road that leads down to the sea. Alternatively, it could be a straight 2-lane blacktop that leads to infinity and invites you to go on the pedal to the metal. Whatever your poison is, let us know your perfect driving roads here on Car-Boyz with all the details that we gave you just a minute ago. There it is, flashed on the screen. First in the mailbox this week, Serge from Metz in northeast France says, Bonjour, garçon de voiture. Apparently that means Car-Boyz.
Yes, in French. Yes, we are.
Garçon de voiture. When pandemic ends, take a trip to Italy, he says. And the SP.
Do I have to?
The Iriscia to front.
See then, if you do it like this with a little, it'll work better. If you go, Arizia, to Fonte Seretto.
It's a astonishingly beautiful road which leads, cars through the Parco Nacional del Gran Sasso El Monte del Laga.
That's the one.
And it lies in the shadow of the Gran Sasso Massif, which I think means big mountain.
That does mean big mountain, yes.
The park is one of the largest protected areas in Europe and is defined by the very rocky landscape, which in winter times is covered by large amounts of snow and whipped by the unremitting wind. Driving up the SP86 from Ariscia, you are being watched on by the Coro Grande around every bend on the road. I don't know who are the Corno Grande. Are they the police?
I guess they are the big police. Corno Grande. They're all the police the big police that only stop on a corner. There you go.
Eating cornettos.
I'm going to look that up now.
Right. It's the tallest peak in the Italian peninsula at 2,912 meters. Prepare for 18 kilometers.
No, it's a mountain. It's a mountain.
Oh, I see.
We haven't done the research. It's a mountain.
Oh, that's just right in research.
Yeah. No.
And the ever-winding road is decent, but far from perfect asphalt, which will treat you to marvelous scenery on both sides of the road shoulders. An ideal stretch to clear your head while the sun is setting. Oh, there you go. It is a beautiful, beautiful, beautiful place.
I am looking at where it is.
Yes.
And I didn't think it was where it was. I thought this was going to be French Alps. So some of my favorite, Italian Alps, I should say. The Italian Alps are beautiful and the beer is superb. But this is further down south. This is near Rome. So this is not far from Rome. So I'm guessing you're going to get some quite nice weather up there. You're just north of Tivoli. So that looks amazing, doesn't it? And obviously we all remember the famous driving road, and I think, is it the Davos one that opens up the start of the Italian job?
Yes, I think
It's driving
right,
that Ferrari and then it crashes. But that does look nice. I didn't realise there were mountains in central Italy. How uninformed I am.
There you go.
So yes,
thanks you for writing in.
Parco Nazionale del Gran Sasso. I want to go there. I do. I keep wanting to go to Italy, and then I find other places where there aren't Italians. Just saying. And finally, Earthworm Jim gets in touch from Boston in Lincolnshire, not Boston, USA, but the flat Lincolnshire. Hello, Car-Boyz. One of the best drives I've done is around neighbouring Scotland. He says he started from Glasgow and drove 64 miles to Inverrede, using the road known as the Rest and Thankful Pass, the A83, affectionately named because of the climb out of Glencoe. Didn't he have a hit with Wichita lineman Glencoe? The climb out of Glencoe is so long and steep that it was traditional for travellers and drovers to rest at the top and be thankful for having made the highest point, which is 803 feet. The road is also dangerous and infamous for many landslips. Oh, what's he trying to do to us? When this road closes, the diversion is 59 miles long, so always check the travel reports. The road runs along many locks, including Loch Fyne, stop off for some fish, Loch Long, Loch Lomond, and you'll also pass through the mountain range, the Arocha Alps. The main road will take you on to the A815 to the Cowell Peninsula, south to Dunoon. I'm having a look at this. Looks lovely.
I've not been to. I've been opposite Dunoon because I've got some friends who live not that far away from there, so I might actually try that the next time I go to Glasgow.
In Dunoon, look at it. Looks really cool. Yeah, mate. You could just go and get the fastest car in the world, just a hire car, and absolutely spank it around those mountains. Yeah, completely cane it. Anything wrong with the car? No, it's fine. Thing's steaming hot. That looks fantastic. Oh yeah, thank you for that. Yeah, give us. I'll flash it up again. That's the usual details if you want to get your Lost Highway onto Lost Highways, which was easy enough. I believe it's now time to take a look inside, to take a peek into the bulging sack that's known locally as the mailbag. Oh.
There you go.
Just something I recorded earlier.
Rich was rehearsing with the band. Yeah. It is, of course, the mailbag. And first, Simon in Chichester says, "Hello, Car-Boyz.
Hello.
Hope you're well. We are well.
All right.
I have a query.
Oh, hello.
I
might want to keep quiet about that.
We're not. This isn't changing rooms or anything like that. I hope he's not asking for like house advice.
No.
Inherited.
You got to say that again because you cut out.
So I said, I hope it's not like changing rooms.
No, before that.
Do house advice.
To qualify. So he's helping a mate declutter his grandfather's house.
Old house, yes. He's inherited last year when his granddad passed away. We found an Invacar in the garage behind, hidden behind his friend's grandfather's old Rover. The family, I see they've ignored the Rover and gone to the Invacar. The family thinks
better quality.
It belonged to his great uncle. Is it worth anything, and can it be restored? And are they legal on the road? Yes. I remember these.
So do I. The Invacar. They were before the Invacar is one of many cars that commissioned by the NHS, weirdly enough, to help the wheelchair bound get around. Now, this is nowadays in the UK and certainly, I guess, in other parts of the world, you see electrified motorized wheelchairs. But before that, it was stuff like this, the Invacar. They were three-wheelers. They were fiberglass. They had a 600cc petrol style Putsch engine, which is quite sporting. You could get in, if you're in a wheelchair, they had sliding doors at the side. You slid the door open, you shimmied across the seat, and then you folded your wheelchair up and you pulled your wheelchair in. They were not commissioned after 1977. And the government stopped sponsoring people driving them in 2003. But that's only the government commissioned ones. If you own one privately, you can take it to the highway. It was weird thing. There's the guts of one. It was like effectively a three-wheel motorcycle. So you could drive it on a motorcycle license. And instead of having a steering wheel, it had handlebars like a motorbike or a bicycle. And you
like Sinclair C5.
You basically you'd ride like a motorbike. It was I'm guessing you had no gear change. It was an auto box. You had nothing on the floor because your legs don't work if you're in a wheelchair, and you just had an accelerator. It was like a twist and go motorbike. I had a look on the internet. These are not cheap to restore. You're going to spend quite a bit of money, but if you do restore it, you're going to be the only one in your neighborhood with one. My grandfather's neighbor had one, and it caught fire. And it burnt down an asbestos shed. So they have got a habit of catching fire as well. So but if you've got the money to chuck at it, why not?
I like the fact they're also Panda Car Blue.
They are. I think that might have been NHS Blue back in the day.
Probably. I think you're right. Yeah.
But I haven't seen an Invacar for many a year. So well done you, and good luck whether you decide. I mean, the other thing is you just stick it in your front garden, couldn't you? So decorate it.
Yeah, put it next to the Fiat Bravo. The Brava.
Yeah, on some bricks. That'd class up the neighbourhood. Alison in Archway writes to us. Hello, Car-Boyz. I need to pick your brains. You don't want to do that. It won't take you very long. About buying a car. Haven't owned a car for some years, but I am needing one as my family are living in both London and Cornwall. Oh, so she lives in Archway, near where that sign was.
Yeah. I know Archway very well.
I tell you, yes, because the Whittington Hospital's there.
It is.
I tell you what I used to do. I used to live in Muswell Hill, and I used to spank my old Escort XR3i up that hill in Archway at about 4 o'clock in the morning, having finished a shift in central London, and take off. And I would land it on top, and I would always get flashed by the camera. The thing was, this was back in the days when cameras had film. So it didn't matter that it was doing 85 miles an hour. Central London to Muswell Hill in 17 minutes. I thank you. Right now, but she says she's got family in London. She lives in Archway. She's got family in Cornwall. She needs a car. Do I buy? Do I lease? At the moment, she's got £4,000 to spend. I need something to do small journeys in London. Big ones all the way to Redruth. That's like 250, nearly 300 miles away. She's got a dog, but no family. So she wants a smaller car. Let me go first, and then I'll hand it over to you with your Ford influenced views. I had a quick look on the internet. I'd never lease. Do not lease. It's too expensive. £250 a month to lease a car. So that's £3,000 over a year. You could own a good car with £3,000, and then you're not outlaying £3,000 every month. I've got a friend that likes to do that. I don't like to do it. He likes new cars. I don't like new cars. How about this though? Hang on. Let me just cover up this person's address. Toyota Corolla, 2009. Boring but nippy. 1.8 SR manual, 4-door, 2 owners, full service history, very good condition. 765 on the clock, recent cam belt change, £5 under £4,000. Plenty of room in for a dog. Also, it's Cornwall's a long way. You're going to need at least a 1.6 litre engine. I have driven it. What do you think? What would you go for?
There are obviously, you said there's Fiestas you can get. You can also get mini, not the sporty versions, but the lesser versions that come with
depending how big her dog is. It's a heck of a journey, Cornwall. I've done it many times, and Redruth is almost at the end.
Oh, I'm just thinking about going to Cornwall now.
I'm going.
Nice.
I'm going to go in the summer.
Matt Hancock's going.
No, I don't want to go. Well, they're having the conference in Car-Boyz Bay in June. Yeah. And I don't want to tell people this. This is it's
G7?
G7. I want to say it was the Nabisco conference, but that would be a meeting of people that make cereals for children. UNESCO. No, I think it is the G7. Car-Boyz Bay is beautiful. It is a beautiful horseshoe-shaped bay. It's terrible for surfing. You can't surf there, but you feel like you're in a beach in Florida. It's got like a little microclimate. Oh, and you can also park for free by the station. There you go, kids. Learn something new every day. So get there early. You can park by the station for free. So yeah, I won't be going there this year. I'm going a little further north, near Bude. Gonna go do some surfing. It's gonna be good.
Yeah, that's it. So Fiesta's good. You can get things. I think. What about something like the Honda Jazz?
Honda Jazz. Yeah, I think you're going to be all right, but it depends how regular she's going down to Cornwall. So the Honda Jazz has only got a 1.4, and the SRI, which my mother has, she struggles to do massive mileage in it. She's all right, but a one-off is okay, but not all the time. I would get something. I'd $4,000, an older. I just thought that was incredibly good value for a Corolla, and it's a 1.8
Japanese as well.
It's not going to go wrong. 4-door. It depending on how big the dog is. The back of that, it doesn't have a boot. It's a hatch, so you can take. I think it's got a sliding cover on the back of the boot, so that what you can do is put the dog in and take the sliding bit off, and the dog can stick his head out. If you've got a biggish dog. I'll stick his dog out a window like that.
Nice. Moving on, Denise from Milwaukee.
Hey,
from the Great Lakes, or Boswoo, as they say in Chippewa.
Chippewa, I think.
She says she loves the show. Don't have to say it, but thank you. Very, very British. Yeah, it is. She's a fan of all things British, including the Morris garages.
You're single. Would you send us a picture?
Ooh. A bit of advice on buying a 1970s MGB GT. Can you help?
Don't.
What do you think of the MGB?
Well, I'm. My heart says yes, but my head says get to fuck. Now, my grandfather had the 1974, was it Jubilee British Racing Green with the gold stripe, gold Ross style wheels, 3-litre engine, was a monster. And he drove that everywhere. And at his funeral, somebody came up to me and said, "Oh, your granddad used to have that MGB GT." And I was like, "Yeah." He went over Warwick Island once at about 95 miles an hour. I will never get in a car with him again. And weirdly, he went on to live till he was nearly 90 years old. So despite the fact he was hooning around in his MGB GT. So I like them, but I know typically they can rust a lot. There's a lot of problems with rust, but they're popular in the UK. The MGB GT, the midget's popular. You can get one over here for less than £5,000, maybe £3,000. You can get one, but it's the usual MG stuff: rust, poor maintenance. I wouldn't, if she's got a heart set on this, I would not buy one from the UK because they're all rot boxes, and also going to be right-hand drive, and you're American, so you want a left-hand drive one. So go, if you really want one, go to a dry state: Arizona, Texas, Florida. You'll pay almost double than you'll pay in the UK, but you will have a substantially better car. And she lives in the cold north, so Milwaukee in the winter makes England look like Florida. They put salt on the roads. So if you're going to buy one, Denise, you're going to need a house with a garage, preferably a heated. Sorry, you're going to need a house with a garage, preferably one with heat in it. And otherwise this thing will rot out within 2 years.
Yeah.
I wouldn't use it as a daily driver. If you want a daily driver, go and buy a dented old Honda Accord and smash the crap out of that and use this as your special weekend car. So it's the usual things: check the rust, check the head gasket, check the brakes, check the steering. Now, I had fun doing this because I had a look online and I found 1973 MGB GT Harvest Gold, 33 on the clock, genuine 33, full service history, time warp car. It's only had 3 owners, and it's in Florida. Now it's $14,000 US, but I reckon you could get that. It's on the Hemmings website at the moment. You could get that down in price. Now, the reason I like this is, hang on, let me find a picture. You'll have to put it with that one. The bumpers are the original silver bumpers, not the American overriders, the plastic shite ones that ruin the look of the car. So the original European ones. And look at the state of the interior. Minter, absolute minter. The plate there is really good. And look at the engine bay.
Wow,
that's immaculate. You can see the title on the front, which will probably say manufactured in Abingdon.
Yes.
Look at that. So Morris Garage's finest. And in a week, we're told that MG, wherever, Shandong, is making more cars than ever. Why not go and get an original one like my granddad had?
Nice.
My granddad had... So my dad had one of these as well. He had the MGB GT in white with an orange leather interior with orange velour carpets. It was 1972.
Yeah.
And he had that for a few years. And then my brother came along, so he couldn't get 2 baby seats in the back. So my grandfather had that in Old English white. And then he swapped it for the 3-litre, which he hooned around over the Warwick Island, apparently. Denise, go for it. Bearing in mind the problems of owning a classic car. Also try and find an MG specialist in Milwaukee. There's bound to be one.
Probably, more than likely.
Yeah. Oh, no, do you want to do the final one? Oh, is this me? Sorry. This is me. Apologies. You do this one.
We have Dave the Rave in Chelsea, which is down on the south coast of the UK near Bolton and Regis, which I think Chelsea was where Patrick Moore lived.
Was it really? Was he down there at Chelsea?
Yes, he was.
Playing his xylophone, looking at the stars, pretending he wasn't a closet homosexual. Sorry, go on.
Dave
never confused.
is intrigued by I'll tell you a story about him off air. Dave is intrigued by the car that's come up for sale on his local car lot. It's a 2002 Toyota Crown Estate 2.5. Nice. Inline 6-cylinder with 55k on the clock, registered in the UK and went on sale for £5,999. What do you think? I like them.
Look at that.
Yeah.
Look at that. Wait for it. Wait for it. We do not like leather in Japan. We like cloth.
Oh.
Velour.
Velour with wood.
Cherry wood. Look at that. So, what he's got here is a Japanese grey import, which means nobody's going to have this in your neighbourhood because it was imported from Japan. Secondly, it means it could be difficult, not impossible to get parts. But if this has been over here for a few years, there's no plate on it. But if he says it's been registered over here for a few years, we reckon, because underneath it's either going to be a Toyota Camry or it's going to be a Lexus. So you're going to get parts for this. It's a 2.5 inline 6, which will go quite fast. You're going to have to find somebody that can work on it. Grey imports, obviously, originally driven in Japan and then registered in their home country and then exported over here. And I believe it's because you can't drive an older car in Japan. It gets expensive. So to maintain the car industry, they started putting higher taxes on cars over 10 years old. So that's why you see a lot of grey imports heading this way. This is the Crown, which is the cheaper version of the Century. A few issues to look out for. You want to make sure the car's an IVA test to make sure it meets the standards on UK roads, that it's been registered over here, that it's got a UK number plate, that it comes with... Now, a lot of these as well, this is clever what they do. It comes with a Japanese logbook, which doesn't mean anything to you or me who don't speak Japanese or read Japanese. But a lot of dealers that do grey imports get the book translated into English, so you can see the car's history. Other things to look out for is you may need to reprogram the sat-nav because it'll be in Japanese. And I'll show you how to get to downtown Tokyo and not Chelsea. The thing is, though, who uses a sat-nav? I don't use the sat-nav on my car. And my sat-nav has got complete European coverage. I just put on Waze and put the headset on and just off I go.
Fun. Did I tell you last week I did hear someone explaining how to use an A to Z to a child?
Oh my God, really?
Yes. He said you need to know where you are first of all, and then you actually look in the map and you had to find where you needed to go.
Good. I think that's a good thing because my third or fourth job was working for this newspaper and driving around the East Midlands, and the boss would not pay to have maps of towns like Matlock and Newark and Grantham. So I get given an address to go and do an interview with somebody, and I'd have a map of the UK, and that's it. So I couldn't read the map in the UK, so I'd write down the roads with arrows, and then when I got into so I'd gone to a garage in Grantham, I'd park up, I'd go and look at an A to Z of Grantham in the back, and I'd write down second, 3 roads across, 4 roads left, and then I'd check with the guy in the garage, say, oh yeah, hi mate, do you know where this is? And you go, yeah, 3 roads down, 4, and I go, yep, that's exactly right, look at my piece of paper. Then I'd have that piece of paper on my lap driving, going, okay, there's the church, third on the right after the church, drive down there. And that's how we survived without sat-navs. And when sat-navs came, I think I had the first sat-nav in 2007. And I was like, this is insane. This is just insane. And
A to Zs, they were great.
Yeah, I mean, map reading's really quite important, especially as the sat-nav won't really work if you're out walking and you need to have an big ordnance survey. Do people do that anymore, go walking?
No.
That's fantastic. So, yes, what are we saying about this? Oh, go on. Why not? Go and buy it.
Yeah.
There you go. It looks fantastic. I mean, and you're not living dangerously because it's a Toyota Crown.
Yeah.
There you go. You might have it on like that if you drive it really badly with the privacy glass. And I love this interior. It doesn't show on the camera. It doesn't show it. I think it might have a pattern of deer on the seats as well. Pattern of deer from the Japanese jungle. The forest was a samurai.
Yes.
Yeah, look at it. Fantastic. Yeah, go on. Why not? And usual address. If you've got letters for the mail bag, it's time for the big quiz. And this week, we may have done it before, but we're going to do it again. It's called, and if I can find the music and not fill for time, it's called Wheels of Fortune. Here we go. Yes, welcome one, welcome all to the quiz here at Car-Boyz. And this week it's entitled, shut up, Wheels of Fortune. I'm your host, Les Johnley. Never found guilty, my lord. Yes, the 4 corners of your car are very important to get you around, or I should say the 3 wheels in the case of the Robin Reliant and the Morgan 3-wheeler. Even Fred Flintstone knew that square wheels were never going to catch on, and that circular ones really do make the world go around as opposed to money. Yes, your questions. Yeah, I know. Yes, your questions today revolve around the wide world of car wheels and tires. This week, we have a lucky lad. He's come all the way from Edmonton. It's Simon, who's come from the kitchen to the hallway.
Thank you.
How are you today, Simon?
All good. I'm COVID-free, so happy.
Super, smashing, great. Now, this week, you're in with a chance of winning a picture of a 1978 Morris Ital. Now, even the picture has gone brown with age. Look at that bad boy. Slight little bit of rot maybe happening all the way along here. Of course, it was British Leyland's mashed total design created by Italian styling house Ital. What a rotter of a car. And I'm afraid, yes, if you do have any pictures of cars on the wall, it would also make them go rusty. Are you ready for the big quiz? He's gone silent. Are you ready? Has he frozen? No, he's back. He's back. Are you ready for the big quiz?
I'm ready for the big quiz. Yeah.
And I'll begin. First off, question 1. Which car... Right. Let's try that again. Put my false teeth back in and read the thing properly. Which cars are these alloy wheels from? And can you name the wheel itself?
I can. They look like mini light wheels that you get on the Mini Cooper.
They are, of course, mini light wheels used on the Austin Mini, but also many other competition cars, including the E-Type Jag, Lotus Elan, and that was going to give you a clue of John Cooper, but you didn't need it. 1 out of 1.
Yes. Come on, Ital.
Morris Ital could be yours. What a rotter. Sticking with the 1960s and and which style of wheel, and I did say style became popular with owners of the Ford Cortina, the MGB GT, and the Jensen? I will show you the wheel. Can you name the style of wheel? I think they were definitely on the MGB GT.
They were definitely on, I think, the 1600E
Yeah,
Cortina as well.
definitely.
I don't know what they were called though.
Okay, I can give you a clue. This is not
Yes.
going to help. They were made by the company Rubery Owen of Birmingham.
Oh,
Not going to help, is
I'm
it?
not gonna get that. I know the style. But
It's unfortunately yes, and that was it. The name was in your answer there. The Ross style 5-spoke.
Oh, nice.
But anyway, yes, those are the other wheels of the 1960s, the Mini Light and the Ross style. We're moving on to question 3. So it could be one of two. Which famous racing mark made these wheels popular both on the track and for the man on the street? They are now worth a fortune.
Oh, they are. They're definitely Escort Cosworth wheels.
Yes.
They're called Ronald site.
Okay, I haven't got that much detail, but yes, of course, Cosworth RS wheels from the Escort Cosworth.
Yay.
Look at those. They're not chipped
like
or anything. They're not chipped. It was back in the day when somebody said, I've got 15-inch wheels, and you went, wow, that's amazing.
Where's the rest of the car?
That's been robbed. Which is took the picture in Liverpool. Which famous British sports car maker do these wire wheels come from? Which famous British sports car maker do these wire wheels come from? And these are actually on sale for eBay at the moment for £1,200, I think, each.
Blimey.
I can give you a clue.
Yes, please.
Shaken, not stirred.
Oh, I guess then that would be Aston Martin.
They are correct. Well done, Aston Martin. These are from the DBS and the DB6 Mark II. Which are wonderful wheels. Look at that. You think you have to have a special hammer to get up.
Wow.
I know. But I think, they are the business, and it's one of those things where you have to tighten up all the little spokes as well.
Oh, my word.
Couldn't be bothered. Now we know the bigger the wheels, the flashier the car. Sorry, that was the picture. That was the picture of the Jag.
Yes.
With the wheels on. Lovely. Sorry. So you got that one correct. So 3 out of 4 so far. We're fast forwarding now to the late 1970s. Which classic car, and more specifically classic hot hatch, are these wheels from?
I know where they're from because
Yes.
the P's were
Yes.
Pirelli.
Yes.
And they were on the Mark 1 Golf GTI.
A Mark 1 Golf GTI would not be the same car without the Pirelli P ISOT wheels. Correct. From 1977 to 1984. They're lovely. Absolutely. And it has to be on the car. 4 out of 5. Move halfway there. Now, we all know the bigger the wheels, the flashier the car. Sorry, I've got another picture for you. There is the Golf with the P wheels on. Now, we all know the bigger the wheels, the flashier the car. Everyone has got huge wheels these days on everything from a Fiat 500 to a Mercedes G-Wagon. But who has got the fattest wheels? Who has the widest wheels on sale in a brand new car at the moment? Is it A, the Mercedes McLaren Black? Is it B, the Rolls-Royce Phantom? Or is it C, the Lamborghini Urus? Urus, as opposed to Uranus.
I did see one of those. I did see one of those. A bright yellow one.
I'm
going to
go the widest wheels.
I will go for the Lamborghini.
It was, of course, correct. The Lamborghini, and there's a yellow one, just as you said. The Lamborghini Urus. And I can't remember how. I think there's something like, it doesn't sound a lot. I think there's something like 15, 12 and a half or 13 inches wide, which doesn't sound a lot, but it is a lot when you're driving a car.
Yeah.
It's heck of a lot. It's like an F1 sort of thickness. It's like a drag racing car. When you think that if you've got that, and then the Citroen 2CV was maybe like this. I'm being literal there. Maybe 3 or 4 inches. So yes,
it's size, what you do with it.
It's the Lamborghini Urus. Straight from the Middle East. Now, we all know that having a set of wheels is like having a nice pair of shoes or trainers. You got that one right as well. It shows you're a man of style and taste. But which are the most expensive wheels in the world? Are the A, the Volson VLE1, which are often fitted to BMWs, Are they B, the Ashanti Diamond, which you can find on some Bentleys, or are they C, the Fortiatos Extremos, which can be found on Mercedes G-Wagons? Which are the most expensive wheels in the world? And believe me, you wouldn't want to curb these.
I
Is
am
it?
gonna take a guess at the G-Wagon wheels because they're, don't know, driven by cocks.
You're driven by
Okay.
cocks. The G-Wagon wheels are expensive. The Formaggiotos Extremos come in at £23,000 per wheel. The Volson VLE1, which are fitted to BMWs, come in at 40,000 a corner. But the Ashanti Diamond, which you find in Bentleys, come in at, wait for it, £1 million a corner. They are diamond encrusted wheels. You could select the gem of your choice, guaranteed to be eye-catching should you ever take them out. Pick up a set of 4 of these beauties, and Ashanti will throw in a new Bentley GT and a 24-hour security to come and guard your rims for a full year. So 4 million. What a crop. I mean, it looks like Flavor Flav's teeth, doesn't it? Yeah, really, over the top. And it's all about motoring that's not about us. So I don't think I'll be buying one of those. So unfortunately, you didn't get that one right, but never mind.
Oh.
Right now, back to Blighty, or should I say India. Which Jaguar is this wheel from? This is a Jaguar wheel I'm going to show you now. Is it the Mark II? Is it the XK? Or is it the F-Type? Which Jaguar is this from? The Mark II, the XK, or the F-Type?
I don't think it's not the Mark II.
No.
I don't remember seeing them on an XK, so I'm going to go for the F-Type.
You're correct. It's the F-Type, a series of 2-door, 2-seater Grand Touros manufactured by a British luxury car manufacturer Jaguar Land Rover under the Jaguar Cars mark since 2013. There's one round the corner from me in white, and we don't know what the owner does, but we think it's something to do with drugs. What's the minimum legal tread? Moving on to question 9, we're nearly there. For car tyres in the UK, a legal minimum for tread for car tyres in the UK.
The depth of a 20p coin.
Ooh.
Which is, I think, 0.8 millimeter? 5? 3? Up to 13, 1.3. 1.5. 1.2.
No, 1.6. I'll give you that. And a continuous band in the center of
the tire.
I'm surprised you haven't been arrested yet. It's 1.6, a continuous band in the center of 3/4. You knew that, didn't you?
I'm sure I did, yeah.
Yes.
My tires are good.
So basically, Simon, which one is illegal out of these 3 tires?
The middle one.
The middle one, yeah. You're like my dad. My dad used to go, well, until you see the white coming through the tire, the fabric. I was like, Dad, it's not 1952. You see the fabric? That's what you need. No, you need to replace them before that.
The belt.
So it's 1.6 millimeters, which is not a lot. I think in Germany, I've had a couple of part-worn tires from Germany before, and they're very cheap. But as soon as they reach a certain point, no, they've got to go. So yes, 1.6 in the UK. Finally, which BMW does this wheel? You're in with a chance. I think you pretty much won it. The Morris Ital. Which BMW does this wheel belong to? Which BMW does this? Is it A, the M3, B, the i8, or C, the new 7 Series?
I'm going to take a guess. It's the i8.
Correct. The BMW i8,
yes,
the plug-in hybrid sports car developed by BMW. I haven't got a picture of them, but this is a picture you will love and you'll be taking home with you. A picture of a Morris Ital, the poorest excuse for a car I've ever seen. But I did actually see one of these with a vinyl roof once in Burgundy, and I don't know if it was my guilty secret. I did want to go and buy it. I think it was about £1,200.
They look like they've got 13-inch wheels on those.
Oh, I think, yeah, maybe even smaller. I think they've got probably 12. And, this thing is going to smoke. And it's the same door handles that you used to find on Range Rovers and also Morris 1300s and the Maxi and the 1800s. The same door handles that British Leyland Yeah, the parts bin, I think, used from about 1968 through to about 1998.
Yeah.
That's it from the show. Thank you very much for tuning in. I think should we come back next week? What do you think? Should we come back?
Yeah, I'm good for next
Do
week.
it all again, and hopefully, if neither of us have got coronavirus and or the well, what was it? We're gonna have injections soon, aren't we?
I'm not doing it with the jazz band.
Are you not doing it with the jazz band? No, you don't want that. You get heroin confused with the COVID-19 Pfizer injection. So we might be having that soon. So yes, we'll be back, folks. I think I'm due in 2024. I can hardly wait. Oh, I don't know what's going on with the music. It's gone crazy. Have you had your No, I haven't had my Weetabix. Anyway, don't forget to buy COVID and Victory Juice. Well done, a Joe Biden product. Keep listening to the show. And we'll see you next week on Car-Boyz. Goodbye.
Bye-bye.